Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Bob Bennett. To be honest with you, I'm sure Bob Bennett is a nice guy. I don't know Bob, but I'm sure Bob Bennett is a nice guy, as I think a lot of these people in Congress were or are nice people. I think a lot of these people go to Washington and they're nice guys, and then then the soul is sucked out of them. Now, Bob Bennett might be a really good guy, might be a good regular Republican, for when we weren't paying attention and we didn't realize that our country was being stolen right underneath our feet. But that's over. That's over. And the faster the Republicans realize times have changed, it's a new game entirely. The Democrats don't even exist anymore. You can play the game that the Democrats exist, but they don't. It is the progressive movement. Period. That's it. It's the progressive party. You might as well call that the Marxist Party. With the people that are involved now, it's a whole new ballgame. And unless you get people in there that understand that we're not playing the game that we played in 1980, not playing the game that you were playing in, even 1995. These things were going on. We played, what's his name, Jim Rogers. There's this great interview with Jim Rogers, who I have said is the wizard. He's one of the guys.
Joel Rogers.
Who did I say?
Jim.
Yeah,
that's
Joel Rogers.
That's his friend. They're not even related.
That's weird.
That's
weird.
Joel Rogers' friend, Jim.
Joel Rogers is from the University of Wisconsin. He is a guy who started the New Party. The New Party changed into the Working Families Party. Extreme left. Back in 1993 or 1995, there was an interview with him, and I just read it recently, where he was talking about the Democratic Party is ridiculous. It needs to be destroyed. And we can either destroy it from the inside or the outside. I don't care, but it's going to be destroyed. Well, they've destroyed it. It's over. So when Bob Bennett loses, that's why. Because the American people are ahead of the press, and they're ahead of politics. We know. We know what's going on. Not everybody, but conservatives do. And again, not everybody. And I have found that the people that are the least likely to see it are the politicians. Because they're, who was it we were talking about the other day? And my wife said, here's what has to happen, XYZ. It was a, family thing, XYZ. And my eldest daughter said, How can you guys see that? And I just said to her, I said, honey, it's a lot easier to see other people's problems or solutions when you're not connected emotionally, when you're not involved in it. It's just easier. You get faced with things that you don't want to think about, et cetera, et cetera. So somebody else can come in and see it and go, yeah, well, this is what's going on. That's what's happening. That's why this movement is so independent. Because the people who have not been the ones who have been campaigning, have not been stuffing envelopes, have not been part of the system, have just played by the rules, have done their job, and expected everything to be handled. Now we see, oh, wait a minute, look what you guys have created. So now we're getting involved. And Bob may have been a good guy. I don't know him. I know he voted for TARP. He didn't vote for the stimulus, did he?
No. Another thing he was criticized for was sort of the trying to come up with a universal health. One of those guys who was trying to kind of come up with a universal health care plan, but he did not. And he wound up voting against it.
Well, in 2 days, John Kerry and Joe Lieberman are coming out with a climate bill. At least so far, John McCain's not on it. But John McCain would if he wasn't facing a tough election. I mean, look, it's like saying that there was, there's nothing wrong with the people that make, carriages for horses. But when the car came out, it's over. It's over. Now, you can do everything you want and say, stop demonizing the carriage workers. Or you can just say, guys, you didn't get it. You didn't see it. It passed you by. Now, you could have transitioned, but you're losing that opportunity to transition into a new paradigm. As Barack Obama said on Saturday in a completely unrelated topic, change is coming at a breathtaking pace. It is. And quite honestly, when you know who's involved in this change, you should crap your pants black. I mean, you should be, I'm really seriously, like you've been eating oil spillage or something. I mean, you should, like Stu's looking at me now like that. Well, I've never done that. What does that even mean?
I just wish you'd move on and not go back and examine it any further. That's what I was rooting for. That's what I was hoping that you just continue with your thought and not go back to the analogy, which was not, I do not believe, successful.
Just telling you. Trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. And it's coming fast. Fast. Remember I said, what was it, 3 years ago? That you would wake up on a Monday and by Friday your country would not be the same place? Let me amend that. I think that was the TARP week. That we woke up on Monday and they told us the first time we heard about TARP, and Friday our country wasn't the same. We didn't realize it. We do now. Let me give you the next one. We're going to wake up on a Monday, and by Friday our country will be gone. The world will be different. The world will be different. And you will see this global structure that we've been telling you for a while. Look, I don't want to believe any of this stuff. I don't want to believe any of this stuff. How many times, even 3 years ago, and there's just this weekend, somebody wrote something about Bilderbergers, and would you stop? First of all, it makes me hungry. Makes me think of Whataburger. And that's never a good thing in my family. You just don't want to be thinking about food all the time. I have a hard enough time. Stop. You don't have to go down the conspiracy road. It's all out in the open. They're telling you. And they're contributing $1 trillion to it this last weekend in Greece. So Bob Bennett is out, and here's what Bob Bennett said.
The political atmosphere obviously has been toxic, and it's very clear that some of the votes that I have cast have added to the toxic environment. Looking back on them, with one or two very minor exceptions, I wouldn't have cast any of them any differently, even if I had known at the time they were going to cost me my career.
Well, good. You stood by his principles,
Then
supposedly.
that's good.
So
Then that's
great.
good.
Bye-bye.
But no, wait a minute. Hang on just a second. I don't like the idea that the atmosphere is toxic. Created by whom? Don't you dare put this on the people.
Yeah, and that's
don't
what
you
he seems
dare
to be
put
doing
this
there.
on the people.
Yeah.
Stu, how long ago was I telling every single 2006? Every single Republican that would come on the show. Do you realize what you're doing? Do you realize the conditions that you're creating? Do you remember that?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, how long ago? I think it was 2006. And now they're just waking up. Well, toxic conditions.
Yeah, hello.
Toxic conditions, you created it.
I'll give you the best proof available that this was the right thing to happen in Utah. David Brooks called it a damn outrage.
Yes, that is, if he likes it.
Positive that this is
Fromm
exactly.
upset? If Fromm is
If
upset.
Fromm is upset, you know it was. I mean, this is
Now,
perfect.
Christ is out.
Yeah.
Bennett is out.
Well, Chris is, he's out of
the Republican
primary,
Party.
but he's running as an independent.
Yeah, really.
And doing very well and leading in the
He's
polls.
actually leading, but
You've
I think
got
that'll-
to be
no,
kidding me.
No.
Well,
But
it does happen a lot when
It
people
does.
both parties. They do typically start out well.
he'll
and it
lose.
gets
That
worse.
will erode over half.
Well, it didn't happen.
Over half his support is Democrat right now.
Right.
So,
But I mean,
that will change.
Lieberman held his in Connecticut, and a lot of people predicted the same thing. So, who knows?
Yeah, but Lieberman wasn't running against Rubio.
That's true.
I mean, here's-
I couldn't even name. Can you name Lieberman's
Lamar.
opponent?
Ned
Lamar.
Lamont.
Oh, okay.
Lamont. Yes.
Yep, that's it.
How do you? I mean,
Look, here's the thing. A year ago, the media said the conservative movement is over. It hasn't even begun. It hasn't even begun. But it hasn't yet defined itself. It will. It will. But you must think out of the box. It must be. There's no small moves here anymore. No small moves. What is being constructed is abhorrent. I mean, the British are coming. The British are coming. So we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up.